Hi everybody, it's me Sarah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a yoga class for the fall time. So I have the other 3 seasons of yoga videos up on my YouTube channel, and I think it's really great to go through them. Go ahead and look through my YouTube channel if it's not the fall time as you click on this video. I have winter, spring, and summer up on there. But today we're going to be doing fall because that's the season that we're in while I'm filming this. And the fall time can be a big time of transition. So maybe your schedule is changing. This time when people go back to school, the season's changing, the leaves falling, but we really want to focus on grounding today as things start to shift from summer into the colder months. Um, Things can kind of get crazy with us, so just taking this time to really check in and find some groundedness on your yoga mat. So, with that being said, we are going to start in a nice, easy seat. Let's bring the right shin in front in our Sukhasana for today. And feel your hips really grounded down onto your yoga mat. And maybe bring your hands palm face down on your knees. But you can also sit in another way that feels comfortable for you if this does not feel good in your body. Closing the eyes down, just beginning to bring your awareness to the present moment, grounding here on your yoga mat. Checking in with the breath. Just noticing how you feel today. Taking a little pause. On your next exhale, just go ahead and let the chin drop towards the chest. Just a slight bow through the upper cervical spine, through the neck. Breathe into the back of your neck. Just rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder. Stretching the left side of the neck. And exhale, roll the chin back to the chest. Inhale, other side. And exhale, chin back to the chest. Take one last deep breath here. And inhale, lifting the chin parallel to the floor. Awesome. We're just going to slowly open the eyes when you're ready and take a twist to the right. So left hand to the right knee, right hand back behind you. Keep grounding those hips down as you spiral gently to the right, noticing anything that might be going on through the torso and the back, through the belly and the digestive system. See if you can take one more deep breath here. Beautiful. Unwinding back to center. Go ahead and keep the left hand on the right knee. If you've been practicing with me before, we might have done this one of my favorites. We're going to cross the right arm over the left arm and start to pull back, especially through the upper back. So try to dome here. Should feel this right between the shoulder blades, making space there. Breathe into it. Good, and then slowly we're going to move into eagle arms by lifting back up and bringing the backs of the hands together or wrapping around to find the bind. If this is too much for you, you can bring your hands to your shoulders. See if you can kind of make sure you're sitting up tall through your lower back here so we're not slouching. We're going to take some cat and cow motions in this eagle arm. So we're going to inhale, lift the elbows, lift the chest, and exhale, round. Feel that shoulder stretch once more. 2 more times, breathing and syncing up our breath with our movement. And slowly release the arms. Just bring them back behind you, planting the fingertips down to just take a little chest opener. Lift the chest and release. Awesome work. We're going to swing the right leg around and bring it back behind us. And go ahead and shift back till you get a nice stretch through the right quad. Be sure to flex the feet. No need to go super far back here. If you're really flexible, you might come onto the forearms. We're going to really work into the legs today, feeling that grounding through our legs and feet. So go ahead and flex the feet, bring awareness there. So focusing on the lower body to feel that rootedness into the ground. Starting off low to the ground here. Let's stretch out the left leg, swing the right leg around, plant it outside of the right knee. Let's just take another twist over to the right. Pull the knee into the chest and the chest into the knee. You might feel this stretch on the outer right hip. One more twist. Good, and release. Go ahead and shake out the knees a little bit. Just coming into staff pose, Dandasana, really good for grounding, but also strengthening here. So we're going to try to sit up as tall as we can, flexing the feet. If you feel like you're really rounded back here, go ahead and soften through the knees. Press the hands down, feel the connection with the floor. Good, let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold all the way forward. Keep those knees soft if you need. Here you can round through the back. Let's inhale, halfway lift, so find length in your spine. Exhale, fold back down. 2 more breaths here. And then see if you can scoop the low belly in to slowly roll up through the spine. Awesome work. Maybe flex and point the feet, take some little circles. I'm wearing my cozy my cozy socks, my cozy fall socks today. Just connecting with those feet. And then we'll go ahead and bring the left shin in front for Sukhasana on this side. And we'll take our twist to the left. So right hand to the left knee. Nice and easy, no need to force. Really imagine that those two sit bones are pressing down into the earth, really rooting you as you twist. Good. On your next inhale, let's bring the left arm over the right. So we have the different cross of our arms this time to round back through the upper back. Really juicy shoulder stretch. Good. And then we'll come up to our Gomukhasana eagle arms. From here, make sure you're still rooted and nice and neutral through your low back to start. And then inhale, find a little lift. And exhale, curl, pull the navel in towards the spine. 2 more rounds with your own breath. Awesome. Unwind, find a little chest expansion. And release. We'll swing that left leg around for our little half deer pose. Make sure to flex the feet. We're trying to get 90 and 90 with the legs, but it's going to be different depending on your body. Everybody has different hip and knee angles that work best for them. Just find a good stretch. I like to push this left hip forward so that when I go back, I really feel an opening through the outer left leg. But some people like to roll the left hip down and they feel that more, trying to roll it down. So it's really up to you. Just find a little oppositional energy here. Flexing the feet. Awesome. We're going to stretch out the right leg, swing the left leg around, plant that foot, and we cross the right arm around. Hug the left knee into the chest and the chest to the knee as you twist around. Sometimes I like to just hold my hands together here, really pulling my chest up. Other people, you might like that left hand supporting back behind you. And slowly unwind. Good. Let's find our staff pose one more time. Dandasana. Feeling length in the spine, feeling rootedness through the hip bones, through the legs. See if you can, this time, unless you're really tight through the hamstrings, if you're doing your knees bent, go ahead and feel a little bit of the engagement of those heels pulling back. If you can get your legs almost straight, really feel the quads pulling up. So we're energizing through the legs. Good. And then instead of folding straight forward, we're going to fold in a butterfly position here. So Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, just round forward. Feeling the stretch now through the inner thigh and into the glutes. Let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And same thing, feel the belly button pull into the spine to slowly roll you up, sit bones drawing down towards the earth. Awesome work, everyone. We are going to come forward onto hands and knees. And taking a couple hip circles here. So just sending the hips back towards child's pose, over to one side, forward and around. Really opening up through the hip socket. Reversing your circle. As you do this, really spread wide through the fingers, feeling that connection to the ground through our hands. Good. Then when you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet for a moment. Feel the hips lifting up and back, maybe softening the knees to lengthen through the low back. Big bend in the knees. Let's inhale, look forward to the hands. Take lots of little steps up to the hands for our ragdoll fold. Go ahead and bring your feet hip width distance, soften through those knees. Relax the head and neck. Maybe find a gentle sway. Feeling the feet pressing down. Maybe shifting your weight a little side to side here. One more big breath in. As you exhale, really bend the knees and drop the tailbone. Scoop the low belly and inhale, slowly rolling all the way up through the spine to come to standing Tadasana. Mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back. Shine the palms forward. Root down through the feet. Taking a pause here to really feel your body in space. Stacking everything up nice and tall. Good. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold it all the way back down. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, let's plant the hands, step it back to your plank. Nice and strong here. Holding in our plank, and let's rock forward and back on the toes. Feeling those ankles again, those feet. And then next time you rock forward, let's lower all the way down on the exhale. Inhale, we're going to come to just a little baby cobra. Really think about the tailbone lengthening back towards the heels. Big breath in. Exhale, release down. And let's shift back to a nice wide-legged child's pose. Taking a couple rounds of breath to recenter. Feeling that forehead grounded down to the mat. On your next inhale, let's rise up into hands and knees and keep your knees nice and wide how they were in child's pose. Good. Let's plant the right hand in the center of the chest. Inhale, pull back, lift the left arm. Big twist. Exhale, let's thread it through. Come on to the left shoulder, left side of the head. Good. So we can keep our right hand grounded where it was, or maybe we crawl those fingertips to the top of the mat if we want more of an opening, and maybe even crawl those right fingertips over to the left. Come back to your breath in this twist. Good. Let's crawl the right hand back in, pressing down, and inhale, lift the left arm back up. Exhale, release it down. Other side. So plant that left hand in the center of the chest. Big breath, reaching up through the right hand. And exhale, thread it through. Come down onto this right side of the head, right side of the arm. And crawl the left hand up to the top of the mat if that feels good for you. Bringing your awareness to the tops of your feet and your shins, keeping them nice and grounded through your lower body as we twist through the upper back. Slowly crawl the left hand back in, and inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, plant it back down. Good. This time, let's bring our knees underneath the hips, and go ahead and extend the right leg up and back, toes pointing straight down, parallel to the floor. Good. Make sure you're really pressing through both hands evenly, and then we're going to lift the left arm up, opposite arm as leg. We're just going to hold here today. Left thumb is pointing up, so that left shoulder can plug away from the ear down into that shoulder socket. And come to your breath as we're building heat. One more breath. We're going to release the left hand back down. Keep that right leg up. You've got it. We're going to cross it over to the left and put it down. This big side stretch here. You can kind of crunch into your left side waist to really feel that lengthening in the right side. And then we're going to snuggle the right knee behind the left knee and bring the left foot out to the side. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. Okay, we're coming into a cross-legged child's pose, or you can sink back towards Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs. So the feet are going away from each other. The front knee can lift up if you can go back. I want to stay in this cross-legged child's pose with my hands reaching forward. But if you'd like to sit the hips all the way back into your eagle or your Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs, kind of like eagle but different, you can do that as well. Wherever you are, take one more deep breath. And then we're going to slowly shift forward, unwind that right leg, and step it outside of the right hand, coming into a little lizard lunge. We're going to do the variation with the toes pointing straight forward to start, and tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Good. So this is like a wide runner's lunge here, and I like to shift a little bit side to side, forward and back, finding length through the spine. Press into that right big toe so we're not rolling out or in. Take one more breath here, and exhale, lower the back knee back down. Good. Let's find a little twist so the right hand comes to the right knee, and just spiraling towards the right. This time, if you want, you can open up those right toes externally rotating. Might feel like you can get a little more space there in the twist and the hips. And slowly release the right hand down. Good, we're going to shift the hips back, coming into a half splits. So go ahead and shift the right foot back in line with the right hip. So it's not off to the side. Go ahead and bring it back in line. And going to your appropriate stretch here, if you need to bend the knee, go for it. To intensify the stretch, really think about lengthening out through the low back. One more breath. Good, and then roll back through the right foot. So now we're at hip width distance. We're going to come up for Anjaneyasana low lunge. Hands can reach up. If that's too much on your shoulders, just bring them down to heart center and really press the palms together. Whichever variation you chose with the arms, really press through this right foot, through the right big toe. And think about, it might feel good to kind of shift back a little bit from your lunge and feel the scissoring of the inner thigh. So we really want to pull this right hip back and feel this right inner thigh even as we shift forward. Same thing, the right hip goes forward, the right hip's going back, the left hip's wanting to go forward. So we have this opposition in the legs. So we're not just dumping down through the legs, we're really energizing through the legs. Good, and let's release the hands back down. And just find a downward facing dog when you're ready. Hips lift high. Checking in with the down dog. Maybe noticing a difference between the two sides of the body. When you're ready, bend the knees. Inhale, looking forward. And exhale, make your way up to a nice ragdoll fold. Swaying a little here side to side. When you're ready, let's slowly roll up to stand. Tadasana, mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step it back to your plank. Let's take another hold here in our plank. This time, really think about zipping up through the inner thighs, pressing away from the yoga mat. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower to the belly. Point the toes. Inhale, this time maybe come up a little higher for your Cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog this time. Good. When you're ready, let's drop the knees to tabletop. Got some hair that's just always attaching itself to my clothes. Okay, let's set up for the other side. If you need to kind of wiggle out the hips or take a cat and cow, you can. And then when you're ready, lifting the left leg up, straight and strong, toes pointing down, hips are nice and level, like you could balance something on your sacrum here as you lift the right arm forward. We're just holding, we're just grounding in the shape. Even though we're not moving, think about reaching out through the arm and through the leg in all directions and finding the movement of the breath in and out. You've got this. One more breath in, reaching out. And exhale, the right hand plants down. Crossing those left toes over to the right for our side stretch. So stretch into the left side body this time. Leg is reaching out and back. And then we'll snuggle the left knee behind the right knee. Bring the toes away from each other and shift back for your cross-legged child's pose or your Gomukhasana legs. This is a deep stretch into the piriformis and the glutes. Also very nice release in the low back, so just breathe into it. Maybe close the eyes. And then crawling through the fingertips, coming back up. Let's unravel the left leg and step it up and forward outside of the left hand. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and find your lizard lunge here, your nice wide runner's lunge. I like to rock a little forward and back, side to side. Keep pressing through the left big toe. Think about lengthening through the spine on this one. Then when you're ready, drop the back knee, and we'll bring the left hand to the left thigh to find our twist. Option to externally rotate that front foot. Doing lots of twists today, but we don't want to crank ourselves into the twist. We really want to be gentle, mindful. Good, slowly unwind, come back to center, and press back into your half splits. Go ahead and walk that foot back in towards your center line. Really flexing through this front foot if that's okay for you. And slowly roll back through into our low lunge. So really ground through this front foot, press down as you lift up. And once again, finding that opposition. So if you've never worked with this opposition in this pose before, it might feel good to just press up and feel how this shape goes back with the left hip. Then feel the right hip come forward and keep pulling that thigh back as you go forward. Little opposite action towards the midline. Maybe you press the palms together if that's the variation you choose. And slowly let's plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Awesome work. Before we come back into our ragdoll, we're just going to take a three-legged dog. So lift the right leg up and start with the toes pointing down like we did in tabletop. So the hips are nice and level. Feel this stretch through the left calf and the strengthening through the right glute. Then we're going to slowly open up the right hip, bend the right knee, opening up into this nice big hip stretch. Really squeeze the right heel towards the glute. Keep pressing through both shoulders. Big breath in. And exhale, release the right foot down, and we'll go to the other side. So left leg lifts up, starting with the toes pointing down, hips nice and level, shoulders nice and square. Breath is steady. Good, and slowly peel the left hip open to stack the hips, bend the right or the left knee. So we're pulling the left heel towards the glute, opening up. Big stretch. Also requiring a bit of strength. Keep grounding through both hands, grounding through that right foot. Beautiful. Release it back down. And this time we'll walk the hands and the feet together to the middle of the mat. And slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time to our Tadasana. Awesome work, everybody. We are going to step so our feet are really nice and wide on the long edge of our mat. And let's turn the right toes out from here and sink down into our warrior two. Open up the arms and really press through the outer edges of the feet, tracking the right knee over the right toes, feeling the tailbone lengthening down to the floor. Shoulders are stacked right over the hips. And our gaze is out towards the front hand. Nice steady breaths here, building a little more heat in the legs and the body. Beautiful. Let's bring our hands down to our hips. We're going to keep the bend in the right leg and start to twist our hips towards and shoulders towards the right. The back heel can kind of snuggle back a little bit more. And let's bring the right arm under the left for our eagle arms. Again, shoulders are starting to twist more towards the front of the mat. If Dandasana arms aren't good for you, you can always bring them hands to the shoulders like last time. Big inhale, we're going to reach the hands up. And exhale, start to dive down into a nice humble warrior. Right shoulder wants to go inside of the right knee. And we want to relax the neck down. Maybe the left fingertips reach the mat, slicing towards the top left corner of the mat. And relaxing down. Good. Slowly release the bind. Inhale, lengthen back up, warrior two. Good. Press into that front leg. Turn the toes back in. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, coming into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Really think about pressing the feet away from each other as you lengthen down. Hands can come to wherever feels comfortable, maybe the outsides of the legs, maybe the outsides of the ankles. Relax the neck, maybe shake it out. And then just notice where your weight is shifted in your feet. We tend to bring our weight back into our heels here in this wide-legged forward fold. See if you can shift a little closer to your toes and really press through the outer edges of the feet. Good. Let's inhale, lengthen halfway. Hands come back to the hips. And exhale, press it all the way back up. Awesome work. We'll take warrior two on the other side towards the back of the mat. So make sure you've got good alignment through the feet. Hips are opening as we open up the arms. So we really want to feel super grounded in this warrior two. Like nothing could shake us here, even if we're feeling a little bit of shakiness. I want to come to that breath and use the breath as our anchor. One more breath. Good. Hands come to the hips. We start to shift the hips a little bit towards the left foot, so towards the other side of your mat. That back heel can just rotate a little bit to give you a little space. So we're coming towards a warrior one, but we're going to reach now the left elbow under the right elbow. We're not twisting all the way to a warrior one. We're going kind of towards this diagonal here. So we inhale, lengthen the arms up, and exhale, the left shoulder comes inside of the left knee. Relaxing the whole spine down. Really keep pressing into that back foot. Keep sinking those hips down. Keep that bend in the left knee. Find ease in the upper body, even if that left leg is screaming at you. And release the arms, open them back out, warrior two, and stretch the front leg. Awesome job. Let's take another forward fold here. This time you might interlace the hands behind the back if that is something you'd like today, to find this heart opener as we fold on down. Take a micro bend in your knees and make sure the weight is going into the balls of the feet. If you've had the bind with the hands, go ahead and release them down. Inhale, lengthen halfway, hands to hips, and exhale, reach back up. Awesome job. We're going to heel toe our feet together nice and mindfully to meet at the center in our Tadasana. This time let's find a nice toes together position and just feel the zipping up through the midline of the legs. Good. We're going to come into tree pose now with the right leg up and bringing the heel to the inner thigh or to the calf. Feel the opening through the right hip. Hands can press together in prayer. Feel the tailbone dropping down here. And nice and rooted through that left leg, the standing leg. Maybe you reach the hands up, overhead. You can extend your branches wide if you'd like. And you can even play around with turning your head to the right and to the left and seeing if you can stay balanced and rooted as you change your gaze. Maybe even trying to lift the gaze up. And let's release it. Shake it out. Good. Let's come into the other side right away here. So the left leg comes up this time. Feel the heel pressing into the leg pressing back into the heel. Rooted through the inner thighs and that foot connection. Check in with your tailbone on this side. Keep relaxing it down. And maybe you lift the hands up. Whichever variation works for you, just see if you can keep that sense of calm and grounding, even in the midst of challenges and wobbles, things that throw off your balance. Maybe experimenting with the gaze. And release. Awesome work. We're going to come into Eagle now, Dandasana, on the left leg. So we're keep switching legs so you don't get too tired. So let's start by finding the arms. Let's bring the right arm under the left for our eagle arms. Good, then sink down towards your chair pose with these eagle arms. Then from here, we're going to wrap the right leg over the left leg, sinking down, and maybe you find the toes wrap around to the calf. But don't try so hard to do the toes wrap around if it means you're turning to the left. The toes can still just be hanging in space here. Good. This is our most challenging pose for today. So really give it your best effort, sinking the hips even lower, lifting the elbows up. If you fall out of it, just come back in for a couple more breaths. Awesome work. Let's release. This time, let's find a wide-legged stance and just reach the arms up, feeling an expansion after that tightly wounded pose. Feels good to feel an expansion through the body, maybe a little back bend. And then let's start to bend the elbows, turn the heels in, toes out, coming down into a little goddess squat here. Good. You can bring the hands on the knees and just take a couple shoulder twists. Ground those feet, pushing the knees out. Good. One more time, reaching up. And let's heel toe those feet back together. Awesome work. We're going to go into eagle on the last side, the second side. So let's bring the left arm underneath the right, binding once or twice. Shift the hips down and back, nice and low. Ground through the right foot as you lift the left thigh up and cross it around. The foot might find the calf. It might just be hanging out here. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Squeezing the arms together. Keep sinking down into that right leg. Strong through the core. One more big breath. Nice focus. And release. Find that expansion pose. Feet nice and wide. One more time. And sinking down into our goddess squat. Knees press open. Elbows press open. Find that lengthening through the chest. And then releasing the hands to the legs. You can find your little twists. Awesome job. From here, let's bring our hands down to the earth and just shift our feet closer together for a little Balasana, yogi squat. And today, just find a little bit of this sway side to side, stretching through the feet and the hips and the low back. Not worrying if both heels can get down today, or if the chest can be super high up. Good. And then we'll just bring the hands back behind us and come to sit down. Actually, we're going to come to lie down. So lie down all the way onto your back. And go ahead and hug the knees to the chest, taking circles with the knees. Good. And then we'll plant the feet down, hip width distance, a little bit closer to the body, setting up for bridge pose. So scoop the tailbone as you lift the hips up. An option today to lift the arms up to the sky and then all the way overhead behind you. Backs of the hands coming down onto the earth, getting a little more expansion. Good. Keep the hips up. Just lower the hands back down to your sides. Maybe interlace them and find a chest opener. One more big breath here. And release the hands, slowly lower down. Awesome. Let's hug the knees into the chest. One more. time, let's curl our head and neck up, squeezing into a tight little ball. And then let's lengthen out into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. Allowing yourself to really ground down into the earth here. Your heels, the backs of the calves, the backs of the legs and hips, the sacrum, the upper back, the back of the head, the backs of the shoulders and arms and knuckles of the hands. Feel all that is touching the earth just melt down, and find yourself really present in this moment, allowing some time of rest. Notice if your mind has wandered and just bring it back. Maybe bring the hands to rest on the torso. Take a couple more moments just breathing here. And then when you're ready, slowly finding a little movements to roll over onto either side into your fetal position, also called seed pose, like a little seed planted in the dirt. Slowly rising up from there. Beginning how we started, or ending how we began today. Finding your Sukhasana. And just noticing how you feel now. Thank you all so much for joining me today for this fall time grounding yoga. I encourage you to come back to this class, even if it's not the fall, anytime you're needing a little grounding through any sort of craziness that's going on in life. I will see you guys back here on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.